900 years before the first bank, a secret order of warrior monks built one. They moved money across continents without coins, armies, or kings, just trust. And when kings tried to destroy them, the system they created quietly outlived every crown. 900 years before the first bank, a group of warrior monks built one. No passwords, no machines, no screens, just faith, sealed in red wax. Welcome to Empires of Finance Channel, where wealth, power, and history trade secrets. Not stories. They say history repeats itself. Money never does. It mutates. Picture this. You're walking alone through medieval Europe. Silver coins clink in your bag, every sound a warning. Every mile toward Jerusalem invites hunger, bandits, and betrayal. You can pray for protection, but God won't guard your wallet. And yet, somehow, you could step into a stone fortress in London, hand over your silver, and weeks later withdraw the same amount in Jerusalem. No armies, no escorts. Just a small parchment marked with strange symbols. To outsiders it was worthless. To the Knights Templar, it was gold. Centuries before the ATM or credit card, these warrior monks built a system so advanced that money could move without moving, and trust became the new currency. The year was 1120. Europe burned with faith and fear. Pilgrims from every corner of Christendom marched toward Jerusalem, the heart of their salvation and their greatest risk. Kings couldn't protect them. Merchants wouldn't. But the Templars, half monks, half soldiers, found an answer. Deposit your silver in one fortress, receive a coded note redeemable in another. Each stronghold mirrored the next, disciplined, loyal, bound by faith. In a world where power came from land and armies, they built a new kind of empire, one made of trust and movement. The road to Jerusalem became Europe's first financial highway. They swore poverty, yet guarded the riches of kings. Their strength came not from taking, but from holding. They weren't creators of money. They were custodians of belief. Every deposit was an act of faith, a silent promise. You guard my silver, I guard your honor. If that sounds familiar, it should. Because nearly everything in modern banking, deposits, withdrawals, codes, even remote access, was born inside those walls. The Templars proved that wealth could exist without possession, that power could rule without armies, and that trust, not gold, could move the world. Power rarely announces itself. It grows quietly, disguised as service. The Templars began not as bankers, but as protectors. Knights sworn to defend pilgrims on their journey to Jerusalem. They vowed poverty, chastity, and obedience. Yet within a century, those same monks became Europe's wealthiest and most efficient organization. Men who owned nothing became masters of everything. Picture 12th century Europe, chaotic roads, unstable kings, and fear as the only common language. But the red cross of the Templars meant something rare, safety. Wherever it appeared, chaos paused. Their fortresses dotted the map like beacons of order, each connected through faith, loyalty, and early administration. A traveler could deposit silver in Paris and withdraw its value in Jerusalem. No coins, no guards. No middlemen. Trust institutionalized. Every fortress served as chapel and vault, every monk a soldier and accountant. They turned faith into logistics, centuries before business schools had a name for it. Their reputation spread. Nobles stored fortunes with them. Kings sought loans. The Pope granted privileges no others received. Exemption from taxes, independence from royal power, and direct authority under the Church. They answered only to God, and maybe their ledgers. By the mid-1200s, they were Europe's unofficial treasury. The Paris fortress became the safest vault on the continent. Monarchs stored their gold there. Merchants trusted their seals. Even commoners saw the Red Cross as a mark of reliability. In a violent world, the Templars built an empire of balance sheets. Power, at its purest, is simply belief that someone will keep their promise. They prayed for salvation, but built a system that saved economies. Every empire meets its reckoning, not from enemies, but envy. By the late 1200s, the Templars had grown too powerful to ignore. Their wealth flowed across Europe, invisible yet undeniable. Even kings were in their debt. Chief among them, Philip IV of France, a brilliant, bankrupt monarch who owed them a fortune. When rulers can't repay in coin, they pay in blood. On Friday, October 13th, 1307, Philip struck. His soldiers raided Templar houses across France. Hundreds were chained, accused of heresy and blasphemy. Crimes designed not to be proven, only believed. Torture brought confessions. Fire erased witnesses. The Grand Master, Jacques de Molay, was burned at the stake in Paris. Philip seized the gold, the lands, the silence. But what he destroyed wasn't an order, it was an idea. The Templars had shown that faith could finance itself, that power didn't need a crown to rule. To kings, that was the real heresy. History echoes the same pattern. States fear corporations too rich, or currencies they can't tax. The Templars' sin wasn't corruption, it was efficiency. They replaced divine right with practical trust. And that's something no monarch forgives. They were condemned for heresy, but their true sin was solvency. The cross fell, but the network lived on. You can burn men, but not memory. After the Templars vanished, their methods resurfaced in Italy. Families like the Medici revived their coded letters and double-entry ledgers. Florence became the New Jerusalem of finance. Then Venice, Bruges, London. Paper replaced coin. Credit replaced conquest. Centuries later, the Rothschilds perfected that architecture, a web of family-run banks across Europe, each trusting the other completely. Couriers and coded letters moved faster than armies. They didn't invent the network. They inherited it, refined it, used it to shape modern empires. Even Swiss banks echo Templar values: secrecy, neutrality, and independence. The 1934 secrecy law reads like a medieval vow: loyalty, silence, protection of clients at all costs. From holy duty to secular science, the blueprint endured. Today's IMF, SWIFT, global transfers, all descendants of the same model. A closed circle of trust, immune to borders, stronger than kings. The knights perished, but their code was upgraded to software. Centuries passed, yet their shadow remains across every screen, every bank, every transaction. The Templars may have fallen, but their design, decentralized, trusted, untouchable, still powers the world. Every wire, every card swipe, every glowing number is the afterlife of their invention. Modern banking is their fortress, rebuilt in glass and silicon. Like the Templars, today's elites preach virtue while trading power. Ethics, responsibility, sustainability. Modern words for ancient paradoxes. The Templars used wealth to serve faith. We use faith to serve wealth. The system didn't fail, it evolved. It hides in plain sight. If you listen closely, you can still hear their whisper in the hum of an ATM, in the silent approval of a digital transfer. It's not religion anymore, but it still demands belief. The kings destroyed the Templars, but the Templars built the system that destroyed kings. Some stories don't end, they migrate. The Knights Templar vanished 7 centuries ago. Their castles crumbled, their names erased by kings who feared their shadow. Yet the world they built, trust, secrecy, control, never left. It changed uniforms. We no longer kneel before altars or carry coins in leather pouches. We kneel before screens. We tap, swipe, and believe. Glass towers hum where monasteries once stood. The faith remains, the belief that numbers mean something real, that value exists somewhere unseen. You can burn an order, melt coins, silence names. But you can't kill an idea once it hides inside the architecture of civilization. The Templars learned that early. Their enemies learned it too late, from swords to signatures, from vows to vaults, from knights to networks. Empires change. Codes remain. You've been watching Empires of Finance, where faith became finance and finance became power.